Hey, what's up? JusNik, WBLS. I'm super excited because in the studio today, we have 8-time Grammy Award nominated singer, songwriter, actress, producer, fashion icon. She does everything. She, her, they, them, Janelle Monae. How are you?
I'm amazing.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
Yes.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
Hey.
Yes, this is a beautiful month to be releasing music, to be Black.
That part, Black Music
to be
Month.
Queer, to be all things us.
That's right. Did you plan this on purpose?
What?
The Age of Pleasure.
No.
It just kind of worked out this way. See,
you know?
Look at that.
Yeah. I've been sitting with this for a while, and I do know that I wanted it to come out in the summertime. So this was great. But I had it, pretty much planned, and I had to go on promo tour for a movie I did called Glass Onion.
Which was great.
And this was like the perfect window, to usher us into the summer. So I guess, to answer your question, I had to plan to make sure
right.
that everything was going to be intact for it to come out this summer. Yeah.
I love it. Well, let's talk about The Age of Pleasure because it's out now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, when I hear it, I do think of summer. I think of taking trips, long trips, listening to it front to back, literally no skips. I got a chance to hear it. And I just think of having a good time. So what does the age of pleasure mean to you?
Ooh, I've definitely been in my age of anxiety, age of depression, age of confusion. And this age of pleasure has been about really centering joy. Finding the things that presently are bringing me that joy unapologetically. And doing it with the people that I love. I think, there's a quote by one of my favorite artists, Maurice White from Earth, Wind & Fire, and he says, if there ain't no beauty, make some beauty, have mercy. If there ain't no beauty, make some beauty. So this was my attempt with this soundtrack. I like to call it a soundtrack to a lifestyle, to capture all the beauty that I got an opportunity to experience. I made this for me and my friends, and I'm so happy that it's finally out.
I love that in so many different ways. One, because just seeing your growth and where you are today, the evolution of Janelle Monae, it's like you have different journals. I look at each project like a journal. So I'm like, oh, this is an interesting part in her life. Oh, look at this second album. This is an interesting phase of her life. And this part just seems really free and open and happy and like, listen, I did the healing. I did the background dirty work. And now I'm just ready to have fun. Is that where you are right now?
Where I'm at is, admittedly, I don't think I really felt safe enough to be this version of myself. I think that I was always been, free, but I think I tapped into another level of freedom once I actively sort of divested in systems that were never built for me. Knowing that we live in a patriarchy, knowing that I was raised to believe certain things, just on, how I'm supposed to be presenting myself.
Yeah.
When you grow up, I don't know where are you from?
I'm from Queens.
Yeah, so I don't know what your upbringing was like.
Girl, church girl, all my life.
Church, Baptist, conservative.
That part.
And you sort of lose touch with your body. You lose touch with your sensuality. You lose touch with your sexuality when you're told, cover up. Don't show too much cleavage. They may not pay attention to you and what's in your brain.
Right.
They'll be distracted by that. And they, as we know, men, is what they would always talk about. Or don't wear your skirt too short to school. It's going to draw attention. Or you may get raped if you go down the street dressed like that, or you're asking for it. Or look at her. She's, how they would talk about other people. And when you hear those sorts of things, it makes you subconsciously sort of shut off certain parts of yourself. And I think that I definitely, for years, did that. And even when, I was trying to express and bring something different and show my sexiness in a different way, separate from that,
right.
I couldn't tell you the amount of things that people would say, like, why are you wearing that suit? You're too pretty. You should be wearing a dress. Wear a skirt. Show more skin. and try to put me into a box to fit into sort of traditional version of femininity. And I bring all these things up because you don't really know how much they shape your decisions and the things that you want to do.
Absolutely.
But you're scared and you don't feel safe enough to do them.
Absolutely.
Because look at how society treats women, treat non-binary people, treat trans folks, treat the LGBTQIA plus community. So once I got okay with not like in sort of like pissing those sorts of people off,
right,
a lot changed for me.
Yeah,
a lot changed.
You're like,
Yeah.
F it, like I'm gonna live
Yeah.
my life. Like you only get to do this once.
This system was not built for me
Yeah.
and mine. It is all one big matrix of rules
Right.
that people put together, and I wasn't really playing by them then, but I'm really not playing by them now.
Yeah. Well, it shows, and I love it because it's empowering, it's motivating, and for one, so she's my Sagittarius sister.
Yes.
And what I be trying to
The
explain
best.
to
I love
people
a Sag.
is that we are hard to get sometimes. They call us mysterious, but we are free-minded, we are free-spirited, we love so hard, we're very caring, giving, and we don't like to be put in boxes. Like if you try to define us, baby, you're gonna see the smoke, fuming, you know, and we're gonna prove you wrong. Like, baby, I can do whatever, whenever, because we're knowledge seekers. So I feel like I understand you so much when it comes to just what you're doing, and I'm so glad that you're like living it, and it shows through your music, through your outfits, through your everything. So
it's just to hear you say prove. I mean, I definitely felt like I had to prove, you know, things to people. Like I had to explain, you know, sort of my journey, even just like my own choices of bodily autonomy. And I'm at that stage where I don't have to explain. I don't feel the need, rather, to explain.
Yeah, for what?
My liberation, my freedom, my autonomy. You know, I don't feel the need, and it's so beautiful to see that so many people are feeling the same way.
Absolutely,
they're feeling the same way, and I'm so happy that by me being my authentic self, that people are tapping into them and looking at the world that we live in, and they're questioning. Yeah. Well, why? Well, why do I have to, you know, sort of dim my freedom to make you comfortable? You know, like I love that I get a lot of women, specifically Black women, who come up to me and just tell me how liberating it is to have watched Lipstick Lover, or to have, you know, listened to Float, and that makes me feel good, because as much as this is about me, this is about ushering in a movement of healthiness, of self-love, self-discovery, and creating safe spaces for the people I love.
Absolutely. It's funny that you said why, because that was like one of my comments that was just ready to come out. And a lot of people, I feel like, are trying to find their why. Why are we here? Why do we exist? What is my purpose? And so, you know, you talk about mental health issues as well. And I feel like you just being your authentic self helps those people. You know, you have one side who feels empowered and they're like, yes, I'm going to be my authentic self. But then you have that other side who got the haters, the negative sayers. And I noticed that a lot of those people, they're like that because they don't know who they are. And you know who you are. And so that's a little, you know, that can mess with someone, because we're all trying to figure this thing called life out.
Yeah, and I give them grace.
Yeah.
I give them grace. I don't expect anybody's evolution to be at the same level as mine. And I know that people are afraid.
Yes.
I know that people are afraid. I used to be afraid, you know, and I know that in fear, projection happens.
For sure.
You start to project onto people, and my hope is that people know that just like me, you too can find your freedom. You can do it. And there are so many other people like you ready to support you, and to divest in those patriarchal worldviews.
Yeah.
It'll never be designed for you to win.
I mean, the ebbs and flows of life.
Yeah.
Just kind of have to expect it. But speaking of the album, Lipstick Lovers, the new single, absolutely love the vibes. It's giving reggae, it's giving African ancestry, you know, the diaspora, it's giving Latino vibes in there. So what was the inspiration when you came up with the music melodically?
So this album was really inspired by my friends. Like, I have friends all over the world, and some of my friends own this party collective called Everyday People. Have you heard of Everyday People?
I haven't.
Yeah, they started here in New York like almost a decade ago, and they're global now. You know, you can go to Everyday People party on the continent, you know, in LA, in New York, around the world. And so we did a party together. They couldn't find a venue during the pandemic, and I was like, you know, come to my space. I have an arts collective in LA that I've been very fortunate to have, and we threw a party together. We tested folks, make sure, you know, nobody had COVID, and the people that came were folks from the continent, from, you know, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Jamaica, the Caribbeans, New York, LA, Midway, like all over. So you had this sort of melting pot of blackness, of black and brown people together in a safe space, free to love, free to be, you know, themselves, and not feeling like the police were going to come and shut it down or come in and do something to us. Like, that visual, the music, everything shows what we can do when we feel safe, when we feel safe enough to do it. So this is sort of a soundtrack and a love letter to the diaspora, to Pan-Africanism, to us.
It shows. So Lipstick Lover, the video is out. It is very liberating. So what was the thoughts behind the concept of the video? You know, you do have some people who don't like it and they think it's very out there, overt, but then it's art, right? And so when I look at you, I think about Grace Jones, which she's on the album, right?
Yes, she is on
amazing.
the album.
And she wasn't afraid to show her skin, show her body. You know, a lot of the old school classic movies we grew up on, you know, Uptown, Saturday Night. You know, I'm an 80s baby, but my mom had me watching the 70s classics. And they weren't scared to show skin. Diana Ross, you know, so it's not foreign, but it's just interesting when people have something to say about when we do it now. Which is
I
crazy.
think that, you know, we live in a world where there are so many double standards.
For
you
sure.
know, like I just remember watching D'Angelo's Untitled.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody was upset, or there was no controversy about that.
They were gawking.
We were all just like, oh. So it's super interesting and telling that, you know, as a black non-binary person, you know, that somehow my nipples are different than D'Angelo's nipples, and they're getting... you know, you just gotta laugh. You just have to say, okay, this is, again, it was never meant, this system. People for centuries have been trying to police the bodies of women, of non-binary, trans folks, of just, they've tried. And so I knew that was gonna be the name of the game. But also when I think about Lipstick Lover as just a safe space, the place that we were at. You know, you mentioned Grace Jones. Grace Jones has been to that same place.
Yes.
And me and her have definitely been in the pool, tops off, you know, nothing sexual about it. And it's just interesting what people choose to sexualize. You know what I mean? Like, someone goes to a gym, a guy goes to the gym in a shirt with no shirt on. Nothing. Let me try to go to a gym with my shirt off. I could literally go to jail in certain states. Like, that's the problem. That's the issue, not me. You know, it's the fact that we live in a world where people do not respect bodily autonomy. And so my liberation, my freedom, our freedom will always trigger people who are under the patriarchy, who are under conservative views, who aim to oppress non-binary, queer, black, trans, like.
Yeah, they
just thinking about the laws
out of like the major retail stores.
Oh yeah.
Recently, like
there are so many laws right now, and I think because this is Pride Month, it's only right for me to say it. But I thought I had my phone, I was going to read, but there's so many bills being passed against, like, anti-LGBTQIA plus bills, anti-trans bills being passed, like laws that will jail us, that would jail drag queen performers for dressing up in drag. So like trying to tell people how they can dress, telling people that they do not matter, that they cannot walk and be their authentic selves, especially when they're not hurting or harming anybody, just because you hate them and you don't believe in their existence as you don't believe that they should have human rights. Like that's what we're up against, and that fuels me to continue to live authentically, to continue to, every chance that I get, highlight queer love, highlight bodily autonomy, highlighting joy, community, us having a good time, and when we're in a safe space. And one of the things that I love most about Lipstick Lover is that I shot it on, I co-directed it and shot it on 8mm, 16mm. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the reasons that it was important for me to do that was because when I look back at footage on film, the majority of all that footage is us being hosed down by the police, or bitten by a dog, or being jailed because we just want to vote or we want to eat, at a restaurant. And we can't because we're black. And I said, I want it to be on the record that in this year, this age of pleasure, black people had a motherfucking good time. We were in a safe space. We were liberated. We were free. And we were happy.
I love that. I love it. The Age of Pleasure, it's out. You're going on tour. Are you excited about that?
Yes, I'm so excited. We're in New York right now. I don't know where this is in, but we're in New York, so I'll be at Radio City Music Hall. I'll be at King's Theater. Go to jmonae.com. I'm doing a full North American tour, about 30 dates. Please come out. Like, this is a movement. It is a movement, so I'm looking forward to seeing my fam. That's her acronym for free ass motherfucker. I cannot wait to see y'all, to party with y'all. We're going to create a safe space, and we're going to have a good time.
It feels like it's just going to be a big party, a big celebration of everybody in there just having a good time. I feel like the visuals is going to be there. The music is already there because, listen, shout out to whoever produced the album. Those songs are absolutely fire.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I got to give a shout out to all the producers, Nate Rocket Wonder, Sensei Bueno, Nana Kwabena, Kelpie Vibes, who does a lot of amazing Afrobeat stuff, is on the project. Again, Grace Jones is featured. Nia Long is featured. Amare, Dochi, CK, Shayun Kuti, Fela Kuti's son, and Egypt 80. Like, this is a love letter to us, and I'm just so happy to be young, black, wild, and free.
Let's go. Wild and free. Are you single?
Well, if you heard Eyes for Two, then you would know.
I did hear Eyes for Two. I thought that was a really dope song and concept, because it's like, I only have eyes for two.
Yeah.
So is that like polyamorous?
Presently, Eyes for Two right now is is the song. We'll say the song. I keep my personal life sort of under wraps.
For sure.
Yeah.
You're sad. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when we're ready for you to know.
Exactly.
That part.
I agree.
Well, listen, Janelle, you've been such a blast. Thank you so much for stopping through and just talking about this project. It is so good. Literally, when I say no skips, it's no skips. Like, it's a vibe. So what do you want to say to your fans before we go?
Happy Pride.
Yeah.
I love you. I am, I feel you. I see you. I know that we're living in an age where people, have tried to stunt your freedom or make you feel like you don't deserve decent human rights. But I'm standing alongside you, fighting with you, fighting for you. And I hope that this music, is your safe space. If you can't take a vacation, listen to this album. It's going to put you there.
Yes, it will.
And when you're on vacation, listen to this album with your friends, with your loved ones, and really stay present. You know, stay present and unapologetically find some things in this life that give you great pleasure.
That is literally my whole life for the past 3 years. I really went through some healing stuff in the pandemic outside of that. And so I said to myself that I was going to focus on being present, because I'm the type of person who like checks myself all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, how can I grow? Or, you know, that situation that happened to me, how did I let that in? Or how did I not see it? So I'm the type of person who I get stuck in either like the past, trying to figure out how to fix it so it doesn't show up now in relationships, or I'm in the future.
Yeah.
So I learned that when I go have experiences with people, like when I travel, I'll miss the whole trip because I'm thinking about when I'm supposed to leave.
That's me too.
Like, girl, like have fun.
Right now. We're not gonna get it back. You know, especially with this summer. Next year will be in elections. Everybody should be fully engaged in that. You know, they are. It's a lot at stake. So I feel like this summer, not that you shouldn't focus on the things that like are that need your attention, but you should take advantage of this summer, of this moment, and you know, stay present. Stay present.
Love it. Janelle Monae, everybody. WBLS. Thanks for watching.